And I'm just like, what kind of caveman logic is that? Are we in the medieval days? She could have been honest and said, well, look, I wasn't attracted to you in the first place. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Kinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 5, Episodes 5 and 6. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Y'all, I just cannot believe how sensationalized the first few episodes were and how it kind of like took a nosedive. It's crazy. Like, it happened so quick. These episodes were very pivotal, and y'all, it just took a turn for the worse. Like, I had high hopes. In real life, I'm proud of the decisions that people made for themselves, but as far as entertainment goes, it made the season a flop. Because when the people break up, it's like, okay, now we supposed to only watch these two people I didn't care about in the first place. Anyway, y'all, I pretty much was watching these episodes sped up because they were just dragging it. You could tell they didn't have a lot of footage and they were just dragging out what they did have. And I'm also going to put a little blame on Chelsea from last season because she's the one who helped cast this season. I'm not saying she's the one who cast Lydia. I'm not saying she did that. But I'm going to need for y'all to remember that for next season. Do not bring her back to help. Also, I don't know if y'all have heard, but I think it's season 3 is suing Love is Blind because of the terrible work conditions. There's a lot of things they're suing about, but one of those things was that they would get fined or possibly sued for $50,000 if they decided to drop out. Maybe they took that out of this year's contract. Maybe that's why people felt more free to leave. They don't know who it is they're really getting in a relationship with. And I definitely feel like if that was not in previous contracts, we would have saw a lot more people dropping out. So I'm about to dive into the couples, but before I do, I want to let you guys know that you can shop my makeup look. If you like my lashes, my brows, things like that, there'll be a little sign that says view products on the screen. Just click that and you can see all of the products that I am wearing. All right, you guys, let's get into these couples. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Milton and Lydia. They finally meet each other and he got a decent haircut. I wasn't mad at his haircut. He cut some more of his facial hair, which is the opposite of what I think he should just grow out his beard. I think that would help him because he does kind of have a baby face and kind of a little head for his like big, tall, long, Stretch Armstrong, lanky body. I feel like if he would just get a beard, it would kind of balance it out and make him look a little bit more mature. But he's a nice looking guy. Before Lydia caught a glimpse of him, she claimed she didn't know if he was going to be white or black. Lydia, you full of it. Girl, don't make me mad. So when they do finally see each other, they're all over each other. They're making out. I was disgusted. Not because of the age difference necessarily, but it's just the fact that she's taking advantage of the fact that he's young and using him to remain in this process. Like, I just don't see Lydia truly loving and caring about him. I don't believe it. It's not a terrible age difference. They're like 7 years apart, but it is uncomfortable to watch them constantly call each other out about it, and her constantly calling him a baby and him constantly calling her old. I feel like he does it a lot in retaliation because she just constantly pushing that to the forefront. She's always busting his balls about something. But then he'll turn around and like criticize her English. It's like all of that is cringy. All of that is cringy because even though I don't like Lydia, clearly English is not her first language. So if she gets some words wrong or the pronunciation wrong, you still understand, let it go. But I understand. But see, he's childish and he's petty. He's trying to get her back for whatever she's saying to him. And so that's already toxic right there. I feel like she is doing some seducing. Every time we turn around, they're kissing, they're in the shower. Why do we have to be in the shower with them? That was uncomfortable. Like, y'all can allude to them taking a shower together. We don't have to actually see it. You know, and then sometimes when they're just sitting there, she'll move his hand lower. It's like, oh, I didn't need to see that either. Then she'll point out his features in like a seemingly mocking way. What did she point out? The fact that he had a big nose and big lips, and he said she had big ears. I'm like, both of y'all need to grow up. You can't tell me she's truly attracted to him because she says she's attracted to his voice, but when she looked at him, his voice does not match him. And she was disappointed when she saw that he looked his age. They say that they want to wait like 5 years for kids, but it sounds like he doesn't really want kids. Like when they were talking about it, he was like, oh, you know, we can wait longer than that. It's like, do you want kids? That's a major deal breaker, especially for a woman in her 30s. I love the fact that he put his foot down when she tried to force them to match. I mean, she was not letting that go. Picked out the outfit and everything, and he was like, no, I'm gonna wear what I want. Cause she does try to act like his mama. It's like she constantly tries to mother him. She's very bossy and very rude when it comes to any and everything. Neither of them have lived with someone else, so they're concerned about, you know, what their living situation is gonna be like. He has crazy hours for his job, and their work hours don't align. When she's coming home from work, he's leaving, and vice versa. But he said that's not every night, just 3 nights a week, which I don't know how that's gonna work. When they looked at his apartment, it was like bare. There was nothing on the walls, but then he had like 3 or 4 cowhide rugs, and then he had a stack of money in the back. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is definitely bachelor undergrad living, okay? Looks very familiar. He has a roommate. The roommate is literally like him. Him and his roommate do Pokemon Showdown, and they're like the top Pokemon players in the country. If he were more mature in other areas, I don't think that would bother me as much, but it's all of that would just be the cherry on top to show me he's not the one for me. Like, I don't care how much they kiss on each other. Usually the ones that are all over each other in the beginning, it ends up fizzling out, so that means nothing to me. That's just giving lust anyway, and I don't think Lydia truly is attracted to this man in the first place. Hopefully Milton isn't getting too involved, because he really gonna get his heart broken. Let's move on to Izzy and Stacy. I said that I felt like they had a shallow connection, and I feel like I was right, because the more we get into these episodes, the more we see they never had any true conversation about what truly matters to them in a relationship, what's a deal breaker, you know, what they need from their partner. Because the stuff that's coming up is like, y'all should have been discussed that. But before we get there, they're on the honeymoon, and they are very much physically attracted to each other. Once again, they hiding heavy. They like Milton and Lydia. So, you know, y'all being all over each other right now, like I said, don't mean nothing, because it can fizzle out when y'all real issues come into play. But he was concerned about seeing Lydia, and she said, I don't care as long as y'all don't be slick and start speaking in Spanish. And I wasn't even mad at her about that, okay? Don't y'all get over huddling in no corner speaking a language I don't speak. So when all the couples did get together, he did pull Lydia to the side, and I thought this was a completely pointless conversation. It felt like he was just rubbing in the fact that not only did he like Stacy more, but he liked Johnny more at the time, and that's why he dropped Lydia. But then he didn't even end up choosing Johnny. He chose Stacy. So what was the point? And really, it just showed me that you were just trying to juggle these women the way that you do in real life. Because I just didn't understand why he felt the need to come say that to Lydia. And I don't even like Lydia like that, but you saw how the woman reacted to you breaking up with her, and you felt the need to come put that in her face. It was funny though, because Lydia looked like her head was about to spin. Like, it was really making her mad. But she ended up saying, like, I'm 100% in love with Milton, and I have no regrets. And you could tell she was trying to stunt on him a little bit too. Later on, they discussed how their families felt about them doing this, and her family is fully accepting. His mom is on the skeptical side. Even his mama knows that he's a goofy and that he likes to play with other people's emotions, and she was worried about that. And I'm like, I can't believe you actually said that out loud. He said in the past that he will be all in with somebody, and then he'll find one thing he doesn't like and be done with it. And she said that's her biggest fear. I'm like, girl, is that not a red flag to you? Oh my God, y'all didn't talk about nothing. Stacy has her own home, right? So then we get to Stacy's house. This is something that she has just moved into. She wants to do renovations on. It's a 3-story home. And, you know, she talked about him potentially moving into her house. And it was just weird how excited he was. Like, he was very gung-ho, very into it, very ready to, I don't know, like, that was just really, really weird how excited he was about it. You could tell that she's kind of bougie. She wants to have custom furniture. You know, she wants it to look classy. She wants a certain aesthetic. And he's talking about adding in an 85-inch TV and, you know, he probably want to put his futon and fold out couch in there, and she's like, no. And then they got down to the nitty gritty. Okay, so she asked him about savings. She has an HVAC that might need to be replaced, and it's $10,000 to $20,000 in order to pay for it. And you know, she said she only has $2,000 saved up, and she was like, well, are we going to be saving together? And you know, basically getting into the finances of how they're going to handle things. And he says that he wants to do 50-50 when it comes to the home. And she was down for that. When it comes down to the 50-50 conversation, I feel like you should do what's best for your household, what's best for your relationship. You know, a lot of people turn their nose up to 50-50, but do what works for you. And even Stacy was okay with it. I think she's more so okay with it because clearly this is her home. I think she already had in her mind that she was going to have to pay 50-50. But when it came down to dinner, she was completely disgusted when he talked about 50-50. And I was too, because he was like, you know, normally I go on a date and we both just throw our cards on the table. What? Now I understand, like, when you get into a relationship, there might be times where you pick up dinner or something like that. I don't see anything wrong with that. But the whole 50-50, when we go to dinner, we both put our cards on the table. I was giving him the side eye too. I was like, what? And she said she's never had a man to ask her to split something, and she let him know straight up she likes luxury and she works hard for it. When she goes on trips, she likes to have all the nice accommodations. And she also said that the reason why she places so much emphasis on finances is because her mother said her divorce with her father was so difficult because they had to split the finances. It sounds like that's something that really tore her family apart. But if that's the case, if that's a deal breaker for you, then you should have brought that up first. That should have been at the forefront of y'all's conversation in those pods if it's that important. But I feel like she felt like that wouldn't get her wifed up. So you decide to spring it on this man now, when this man don't look like he got it like that to support your lifestyle. And Johnny already told us that his credit was bad. And I don't think he has told her that yet. If he has, they didn't show it to us. As nasty as Johnny's delivery was about her thinking they're not going to make it, I think she might have been right. And if y'all do decide to get married, Stacy, you better have a prenup. That's all I'm gonna say. But she made it clear that she doesn't want someone who is gonna ride her dad's finances, because clearly her dad is the one that she can fall back on when she needs like a pick-me-up. Like, she played this really carefree role in the pods and on the honeymoon, but I don't think that that's her true personality. If his money was right, maybe she would give her more room to be carefree, but it seemed like her seeing these pockets are a little tight is making her a little bit uptight. Let's move on to JP and Taylor. I completely understand why JP was single. Let me get that out the way. It completely makes sense. If he ain't gonna do nothing else, he's gonna wear red, white, and blue. Taylor referred to him as a good old boy, which my January 6th sense is tingling again. It's tingling again. I don't know. It looks like it's adding up to me. I don't know. But this man was, I'm telling you, every scene he was wearing red, white, and blue. He had on a red, white, and blue jersey. A USA jersey at one point. That's not a little odd to y'all? Anyway, he's still being so awkward and quiet. She let him know, like, it's been really awkward. Our first meeting was so awkward that I cried. And he tried to tell her that she was just overthinking. Girl, you was not overthinking. That was your intuition telling you this was not the one for you. And you also know because you just weren't attracted to this man at all. And so they were kissing a little bit in the hotel room, and she straight up told him to his face that his breath stank. And he just laughed like, that would make me automatically get up and want to brush my teeth, get a mint, something. Like, I know that's a little embarrassing, but at least she told you to your face and not sitting up there disgusted. Days are passing by on their honeymoon, and it's like him being quiet is just a big issue, because how can you, we're the only two people in the room, we don't know each other, this is our time to get to know each other, and you're not asking me any questions. It's like he doesn't know how to hold a conversation, and it's like he expects her to do all the talking. He only responds, and he said, I hate being forced to have a conversation. And like, the whole time I'm just wondering, like, is he intimidated by her beauty? She even told him, you could pretend that there's a wall between us. I was thinking maybe I need to sit back to back. I don't know, like, but she confronted him several times, and he just kept like brushing it under the rug, acting like it was all in her head. And she's just getting more and more frustrated as time goes on. She's getting emotional as well, because she's feeling like this is a huge mistake. They're hanging around these other couples that are extremely lovey-dovey, touchy-feely. They're all over each other, and they barely holding hands. Speaking of hanging out with the other couples, it seems like he has much more personality when he gets around them. Like, he playing games and everything. And, you know, Milton pulled him to the side and asked, you know, had they consummated their marriage, and he said no. It's like, well, why don't you tell him the truth, that you're not even opening up your mouth and having a conversation with the woman? So it finally came to a head. Like, even though she had been confronted this man over and over and over, and trying to give this man a chance to open up and talk and, you know, really like say what's on your mind, what is the issue? He's accusing her of having her foot out the door the entire time, and you know, he's blaming her for focusing on the awkwardness, when that's legitimately all y'all have. All y'all have is the awkwardness, and you're forcing her to sit in that. She asked, well, what changed after the pods, because you were not like this before? And he claimed that he didn't like the fact that she was wearing makeup when they first met. And that made me think back to when they first got there. He was like, he didn't like those gaudy lashes that she had on. And when she hugged him, he had makeup all over her jacket. And he felt like the fact that she had on makeup meant she was fake. And I'm just like, what kind of caveman logic is that? Are we in the medieval days? Back in the day when they thought makeup meant you were a witch or a Jezebel? Maybe you need to join the Mormon faith, because they don't believe in all. They don't believe in makeup. They don't believe in women wearing pants and stuff. Maybe we need to go over there, because it's 2023. Are you kidding me, telling me that you thought she was fake because she had on makeup, and then you had the nerve to make the situation awkward because of it? And he was like, he's worried that he would have to deal with that every day, and that's not what he wants. And he liked the fact that she hasn't been wearing makeup on the vacation. He likes her better like that, and basically if she just stopped wearing makeup, that will solve this whole situation. And he has some nerve demanding that, looking the way that he does. Now, what if she would have came to you and said something to you about all this USA paraphernalia, saying she can't stand seeing you in that every single day? Because she was really trying. She was really trying. And the fact that you let that be the thorn in this relationship, that one little thing, because she really only wore makeup that first day. After that, she really hadn't been wearing makeup like that. So you let that first day of her wearing makeup bother you so bad that you couldn't talk. She could have been honest and said, well, look, I wasn't attracted to you in the first place. Her first response was just getting up and walking away. Like, I could not believe this man just said that. And when she came back, she told him off and said, if I want to wear makeup, I'm going to wear makeup. Ain't no man going to tell me what I can or cannot wear on my face. She couldn't get it through his rock head how stupid he sounds. And I once again, I feel like this is something that should have been mentioned in the pods. If you really can't stand makeup like that, that's something that should have came up in conversation. Is this big of a deal breaker for you? I don't know what the real issue is. Maybe he feels really insecure and like she's out of his league or something. But that was the last straw for Taylor. She wouldn't even sleep in the same room with him that night, and he was even a jerk about that. Like, he was just like, I don't care. And once again, she was still gracious, thanked him for actually having a conversation with her for once and being honest, but she took all her luggage. Okay, the next day he was apologetic and he wants to work through this, and she just told him, look, you're not the person I thought you were when I fell in love, child. You know, she feels like that makeup thing is just an excuse. She's so uncomfortable in this situation that she's not gonna force herself to live with him or be engaged to him, and so she just broke it all the way off, took the ring off, gave it back to him, and I was so proud of her for choosing herself. I just can't even imagine being with a man that really felt that way. Like, my boyfriend prefers me with no makeup, but he would never tell me, oh, you can't wear makeup. Like, he would never. I wish he would. I wish a man would tell me that I cannot wear makeup, or tell me that I'm fake because I wear makeup. You gonna get read down, child. And there's so he's so easily, like, we can read him from head to toe. Why would you say that? Let's go ahead and move on to Uche and Aaliyah. Let's get this out of the way, because I was so taken aback by Uche's behavior. She dodged a bullet big time. I'm low-key glad Lydia came and blew up his whole situation, because he did not need to be matched up with Aaliyah or anybody else for that matter, with all of this mess going on and with his trifling personality, child. When I tell you these people will never hear from me again, including the producers, including the show, I will completely dip off the face of this earth. Everybody's getting blocked. We pick up with Uche in complete shock that Aaliyah has left. And when the men were asking him, like, well, what happened? He's acting like he doesn't know why. Why are you so shocked? You know, you have the biggest scandal going on around here. You left her with your psychotic ex in the pods. Why Milton low-key wanted to laugh? Like, it's like Milton already knew what happened. You know, he was acting so distraught that they was like, okay, we'll try to call her and see if y'all can have a phone conversation. Her reason for leaving was she got into it with Lydia, and she said something like, you know, if he doesn't propose to me, then you can have him. And she said, F you, I don't want him back. And I can only imagine the other types of mind games that Lydia was playing, on top of the fact that Lydia purposely befriended this woman in order to play with her mind. Being in there with no phone, no access to the outside world, this was your closest person and she betrayed you. I can only imagine, like, the type of turmoil mentally that she was going through. The way Lydia constantly would bring Uche up would be enough for me. But you could also tell that this was a hard decision for Aaliyah and that she was conflicted, but she finally just had to make the decision to prioritize her own mental health. And he kept minimizing the issue by saying, you're just gonna let some girl come between us? Like, this woman is unhinged and then create a whole diabolical plan to get you back. She's literally dangerous. I don't know if this could turn physical. This woman could be standing over me in the middle of the night while I'm trying to sleep, for all I know, with her hands around my neck. You know what I'm saying? And you're sitting up here just trying to minimize that. He's really mad that she didn't stay and endure the toxicity that would bring her, and saying that if you can't make it through that, then how would you endure a marriage? If that's what it's going to take to be married to you, it's not worth it. If Uche really loved her, he would say, forget all of this, forget this show, forget Lydia. I'm taking your hand. I'm coming to be with you right now. I'm leaving everything. I'm dropping everything to be with you. I would do anything to have you again. That's what he would do. But he wants to gaslight and berate her and call her selfish during this entire phone call. I mean, just being so manipulative, making it all about himself, and telling her, well, you could have wrote me a letter or stayed to tell me to my face. She just met you, like, what, 2 weeks ago? Like, yeah, that would have been nice if she would have told you that, but I don't know why you're acting so confused as to why she left. Like, that's my thing. That's what feel so manipulative about it, because you should be a little bit more understanding, because you yourself have been a victim of Lydia, victim in one way or another. And poor Aaliyah, she's literally sobbing and professing her love for this man, and he's twisting the knife even further. But I do like the fact that she brought up, how do you know she didn't see an email about this show on your computer and decided to apply to it in order to throw a wrench into all of this? And instead of actually seeing her point, he decided to get loud, start cursing and going off. At that point, it would have made me feel like, well, what are you in on it with her? Because that's a legitimate question. And that's something you should be questioning yourself. And then once again, he's flipping it on her, saying he's stupid and he chose the wrong person, and had the nerve to hang up on her after you, the one who called her. Like I said, he could never contact me again. He'll be blocked. Production will be blocked. The show will be blocked. Okay? No one could ever reach me ever again. Call me no more. Don't text me no more. I don't want to see your face. It's bad enough it's going to be on TV and it's going to be online anyway. But she must have a humiliation kink. At the end of episode 6, she decided to meet up with this man anyway. I don't know what was the point of that. He came in with a real nasty demeanor. Didn't even want to give the girl a hug. Mind you, this is his first time seeing her in person. They went from pods to maybe he saw her on social media at this point, but he's never seen her in person. So for someone to have claimed to love her, it should have been some sort of warmness in his face to finally see the woman that you so-called wanted to marry in person. But instead you come in with a scowl and a stank attitude. And the fact that she's still sitting there professing her love to him, and he is just being so cold. Aaliyah, I'm gonna need for you to stand up. Stand up! I'm gonna need for you to stand up. Okay? Because this man is not worth going through all this trouble and drama for. Okay? I'm gonna leave it there until next episode, and we'll talk about that conversation, child. Anyways, you guys, let me know what y'all think about this review down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.